People often ask me why I don't criticize Islam the way I criticize Christianity, even going as far as saying that I'm afraid, citing all of the radical Islamic attacks and that I'd be scared that it would happen to me. First off, let's get one thing real straight. Whether it's in America or France or wherever, most of those radical Islam attacks are just your government, the clandestine services, like the CIA and the FBI. And no, that's not a conspiracy theory. They were caught doing it at least 17 times in New York City when the FBI was training kids, young people, to be radical Islamists, gave them the materials to make bombs and other things, and then told them to attack a certain target. Right before they did that, they arrested them and said, "We caught another terrorist cell." They literally groomed them to be radical Islamists. Okay, so let's jump into why I made this video. The reason I don't criticize Islam the way I criticize Christianity is because Islam isn't really doing anything wrong with their religion. For starters, the war on Islam, which I think we're all aware is happening for the last 20 to 30 years, is for two reasons. One, because Islam doesn't allow for usury, and two is because Islam has a lot of the wisdom about demons, the jinn, demonic attacks, and they help people every single day to be unpossessed by these spirits. These two things in particular about Arabic and Muslim culture are what's stopping the New World Order from completely taking over, stopping people from being able to get possessed, and stopping the central banks from having total world control. Islam is the enemy of the NWO. That's why they're attacked so much. That's why they're constantly faking these radical Islam attacks all over the Western world, mind you. It always happens in the Western world for some reason. Not to mention, any genuine retaliation by an Arabic or a Muslim person on the West is completely justified based on the millions of innocent civilians the West has murdered in the last 30 years of international policy in the Arab world. So let's get into the actual religion. Okay, first off, their God. Allah means like Almighty God. Full stop, period. When you get the 99 names of God, of Allah, most merciful, most compassionate, most kind, most understanding, most strong, most courageous. Not much I don't know if there's anything to criticize about Islam. All these radical Islamic attacks, they're one of two things. Your clandestine organizations creating a false narrative of radical Islam, or legitimate retaliation from Middle Eastern countries because the West has done absolutely atrocious things to them. Period. Freedom fighters for their own countries are not terrorists. If we were invaded in America and you bared arms and defended yourself, you wouldn't be a terrorist. And if the other country called you a terrorist, you'd know how insane they were. That's what's happening, just so everyone knows. The radical Islam thing, it's pretty much bananas, and I'm not sure if there's any legitimate case of actual, genuine Islamic radicalism. I don't know. Because the West has created so many false narratives around it, so many false flag attacks, we can't make any sense of it. Because they're trying to destabilize the Arab world and destabilize the Islamic religion. Because Islamic religion still does not allow for usury. And they have some of the deepest and most accessible information and wisdom on how to deal with demonic attack. So I hope this answers the question for people as why I don't criticize Islam as much as I criticize Christianity. And look, I'm not picking on Christians. In general, great missionary work, charity. There's lots of wonderful people and lots of wonderful things have happened because of Christianity. But it's the individual Christians who bear their own cross and live like Christ, which gives Christianity a good name. All of the foundational, institutionalized, organizational nonsense with the Vatican and all this other stuff, it's poison. It's the synagogue of Satan, period. Period. There's no argument. Okay? The facts are in, folks. It's just the truth. So my criticism isn't against all of Christianity and all Christians. My criticisms have been very specific, and I've told you every single time the problems I have with it. And they're legitimate criticisms. And you should start taking them seriously. We need to live like Christ. That's the point of Christianity. To be like Christ, period. No strings attached. Blood of Christ nonsense, bullshit. Kick it out. Yahweh, kick it out. You can't say God's name. God is creative potential. God is in everything. Doesn't have a specific name. That's a warlord, demigod, demon, lower G. Okay? So, hope this helped.